the grass may be greener on the other side, but what if it's always raining over there? It doesn't mean that there aren't snakes in the yard. So if you are going to the greener grass, you got to stand on that and you got to stay over there. And
the hardest thing, you are not addicted to me. I'm the only thing you should need. You should be.
I guess the whole just point of this video is gonna be like a nice little intro for everybody. Just kind of not really an episode, but just kind of like seeing us shoot the shit, talk, meet. Because this is me and Jay's first time getting to meet, like face to face, I guess. But we'll be talking about our purpose, our purpose for saying yes. Because, like I said with Trish, we all agreed to do this for our own reason. Um, our goals behind it. So like I feel like all of us probably have our own goals tied to our own experiences that we want to help others not have to deal with and things like that. Some of our expectations, and then we'll talk about what we'll be doing with the podcast. But first, I think that we should just all introduce ourselves and let the audience, get a little bit of background. But I like to usually with podcasts let people get to know us along the way. But I'll start. And Jace, I guess interesting facts, because I guess that's usually what people do in the intros and stuff. An interesting fact, I got ADHD, so that's it can become a part of your personality when it dictates a lot of different things. So it's definitely an interesting fact. I do a little bit of coaching with business and branding, business branding, marketing as far as coaching goes. Host a couple podcasts. And I've been through heartbreak for sure. So I'll pass it over to Trish.
I'm Trish. I've also been through heartbreak. I don't know. Fun fact, like I always struggle with this part. A fun fact to be my oldest daughter will be 19 this year, so I guess that's cool. People say I don't look like I have kids as old as they are, so that's that.
Protect her from all heartbreak.
Right.
Yeah, man.
Man, please. But let's get it. Mar, right? Mar.
I'm Jamar. This is my this is like my first heartbreak, just dealing with it. I know they say heartbreaks comes in three sets of forms. This is really my really first heartbreak, so I'm dealing with it, just trying to do what's best, So yeah. Trying to put it out there.
That's
But what's your
we
fun
said
fact?
do his best. That's strong. Doing what's best. This is gonna be hopefully helpful. But yeah, fun fact.
What's your fun fact, Mar?
You said what?
What's your fun fact?
My fun fact?
Mm-hmm.
Something
Explain.
interesting.
Something interesting
about yourself.
I work with ASD adults. I've been doing that for 3 years.
Hey, that's huge.
Yes, man. I work with adults, man. I was working at the high school with kids with, of course, with kids with ASD also, but this is my first time doing with adults, so I like it. I've been doing that for 3 years.
That's
I
dope.
just I'm autistic and ADHD, so I'm like, man, you gotta say that one. But dope, man, dope. So I'll hand it back to you, Mar. So I know you said because today I also want us to all share a little bit, or not, share a little bit about our first heartbreak. And you're saying yours that you're going through is your first, but I feel like I know what you mean when you say that because I'm sure that's not the first person you dated. And for me, mine that I just had, that's kind of like my first to me. But when we get there, I mean, you can kind of choose which one you want to share. But for now, when you wanted to start this, what made you want, like when you reached out to me, what made you want to get something like this going? Like what is kind of like your biggest, I guess, motivation behind starting this, like this whole podcast?
Because I was dating this person, even I was dating her for a year.
Okay.
And I wasn't truthful with her. Meaning, when I say I wasn't truthful with her, I was technically married in the concept. Only thing I was thinking about was getting revenge. And that's not something that we should do as human beings, getting revenge on somebody else. I was getting revenge on my friend because my friend used to do some harmful stuff to our other friend. So meaning like he used to talk to other women when he had other women. So there was like my homeboys like, Mar, how about you talk to his woman, one of
Mm.
his girls? I said, okay, one of his girls. So I got her into my job and we started talking, and one thing led to another. Like I was the only thing I was thinking about was just like sleeping with this girl. I was like, that's all, my whole mind was just sleeping with this girl, sleeping with her. And then after we did that, my whole feelings changed. Meaning like I didn't call feelings with this girl. I didn't spend time with this woman.
Yeah.
So one thing led to another. Like it wasn't about the sex; it was about her company, and that's what I really enjoyed the most. I fell in love with her company. Meaning like she kept me comforted, whatever I was going on, especially as a man. When you deal with outside stuff in the world, when you find a woman that really comfort you and hold you down, you fell in love with her. And that's what I really fell in love with. I fell in love with her company. And I knew it was real when I told her mama. Her mom used to text me like, why this and this and this and that? Why you just do my daughter? I said, only thing I used to text her mom was like, I fell in love with your daughter company. Meaning like her company is like real so good. That's if I'm really trying to be point to it. Her company was like so amazing, to the fact. And that's what I fell in love with. And then I didn't see it from a blindside view when she broke up with me. I mean, it was signs here and there, but when she broke up with me, it really hit me. It really took a toll on me. I'm like, wow, this the person I thought I was gonna be in love, not in love with, but this the person I thought I was gonna be spending the rest of my life with. Because when God sends you a woman into your life, you really want to cherish that, no matter what the circumstances is.
Yeah.
You know.
It sucks when we find people either too early, too late, wrong time.
Yeah.
Cause it's like I don't want to say, "Hey, hold on 1 second, don't go
Yeah.
nowhere." I gotta figure you want to like try, So I definitely understand that, man. So with you in the podcast, what's something that you want to help others with, using your testimony and your story.
In my podcast, I just want people to, especially as men, to open up because all us men we deal with heartbreak. Most men don't want to open up to it because they think they label you as a simp. They label you as, oh, you soft, or they label you as something that you're not supposed to be. But my thing is, I think every man in this journey that's either famous or either not famous is had to deal with a heartbreak. Because, like I said, I'm a real Christian man, and God will send you that woman or that person to you to open up your eyes because I can go out there and be on my own journey, but until God send me that person, be like, hey man, this is what you need to do. Until you feel your heart break, like I literally felt my heart. I used to tell my students, like, you take a piece of paper and you rip it up in so many pieces, that's how your heart will feel. That's how I felt
Mm.
when she broke up with me and she wanted to communicate with me. That's how my heart would felt. I even went out to a point where I used to go into spiritual journeys, like to pay people $30 or $40, whatever, the to to read my do the readings. And the one
Mm.
lady was like, I feel like your heart was broken. And when she told me that, I felt it broken again because it's like we have to deal with that. Man or woman have to deal with a heartbreak in their life in order to feel like they journey wherever God or the universe, because most people don't believe in God. Wherever the universe want to send you, we have to deal with that. You know?
Man, I mean, I'd say most people don't believe in God. It is the best selling book. I mean, but no, I feel it, man. I feel it. That's deep, man. That's
Yeah.
deep. So
Yeah.
for you, Trish, what's we don't have to get into your first heartbreak just yet, but for you, what's kind of like, I mean, you already do relationship coaching, so you've already been helping people with this stuff, but what's something else that you want to like, help people with, or what's your biggest goal behind the podcast?
It's a few things really. Like I'm super heavy on the healed whole men advocacy flex. So I want men to know that there are women out there who get it. There are women out there who are committed to understanding how to love you correctly, how to let you be vulnerable, how to give you a safe space without running to tell her homegirls about it or without telling her family that you soft or using that as a way like, girl, I got him so sprung, he crying over me. Like without throwing it back in his face in an argument, trying to get the last word or hurt the deepest. So I really want that for women. Well, for men, and then for women, like they stay calling me a pick me on social media. So I want women to understand how being a pick me is not an insult, how to be a pick me and be a productive pick me, a healthy pick me, a pick me that somebody is actually going to want to build with. And you understand how to let that man lead and you submit while understanding that it's not him taking away your authority, for lack of better words. It is you respecting him enough to say, okay, babe, I trust you. You got that. So being a pick me, like, I just want women to understand that it's okay. Like men get their heart broken too. So
Right.
if you love him,
Right.
you got to help him through that sometimes. So
Right.
for me, it's kind of like for men and women, but it's because of like what I've gone through and what I already do.
Right. Right.
Yeah, like, and that's heavy, just I think a lot of women don't sometimes just be knowing what they want because it's like, they when you watch the movies and stuff, and it's like, if you want the man to do A, B, and C, like there are things that are tied to those things. If you want the man who is going to care about your feelings, he's probably going to have some to tend to as well. But if you want the guy with no feelings and you don't got to tend to nothing, that guy's not
Right.
going to tend to your feelings. But that's like the simplified version. But for me,
Yeah.
I really I mean, like, for everyone's like big heartbreak, because I mean I've had like, heartbreaks. I've dated girls and stuff like that, and I've had what every heartbreak feel like it's the worst one, and then it's like now getting married and have to not be married anymore. That's, I mean, obviously gonna be the worst one. But I think the biggest thing is, what I want to help people do is hold themselves accountable for their own misery, not victim blame, because I mean I hate feeling like I'm being victim blamed. My mom has been telling me, you attract you attract who you are. And at first when she was saying that, I'm like, that hurts, because I'm like, she's being terrible. So what does that mean? Like, what are you talking about? But I'm like, okay, not really she's being terrible. She's just, broken just like I am. So really helping people be able to understand, because a lot of people have a heartbreak and want to only just think it's the other person, and then they're going to keep having the same heartbreak because they're not changing. You could have even
Right.
been in a relationship where you were being abused. You could have been in a relationship where that person was just cheating the whole time. But there is always room for growth, and
Mm.
there is a way for you to find, even for people, like, because so many people have cheated, like even there is people who have cheated who have justified it and will always justify it. And until you stop justifying things you don't want done to you, you'll probably keep having misery and going in the same cycle. So,
Right.
I'm not a person who's gonna bash anyone I've dated, and I wanna. I feel like
Right.
I feel like everyone that I've dated might, see this and see it happening or see it starting, and be like, oh, here we go. But like, no, like seriously, I'm like, I'm gonna be my role here. What I want to do is just be the one who, like, even when people are on here, we're interviewing them, let them try to make it digestible, because it's hard to be told about yourself, but try to hold everyone accountable, not out of spite, but out of love, just because you will not grow until you find the faults, and every breakup is a two-sided thing. If you guys both
Right.
decide to be together and it's no more, there is things you guys both did that led to that. Whether who's wrong or not, it's just about growing. So I'm on my growing journey, like with my other podcasts, both of them. Like, the goal was to not only grow and also teach. So like, that's the same thing. Learn from the people who come on here and also teach. That's really it. Because I don't want no one to have to deal with it. Like, I mean, everyone gonna have to deal with it, but I don't want nobody to
Right.
have to deal with this. Really, for I guess we could really joke, because we kind of did some goals, just to like I was saying with Trish before we started recording, like the biggest, I think our overarching theme will be, interviewing a lot of couples, interviewing people who are about on the brink of breakup, interviewing, people who have already, not couples, but interviewing people who are going through heartbreak. I know a lot of, not a lot, but I have a few divorce lawyers in my network, other relationship coaches, um, anyone who has been on some side of heartbreak, whether it is a lawyer, whether it is, a counselor, and then of course interviewing all the people who want to come on here and tell their story. And then, there'll be some episodes where we're just, we'll have a topic, whether it's grief, whether it's healing, whatever it is, and we'll be diving into that, and just have an episode just about that. So we'll be doing a lot of different things. Mar, for you, like, did you have anything that I didn't mention, like, as we, kind of continue over these weeks that, you want to make sure we get into?
I just want to make sure, like I said, everybody open and honest about everything, you know, dealing with their heartbreak, man. Because, like I said, just open it up. There's a lot of people that really want to open up about it, but they don't have the right resource to open up.
Yeah.
Especially as a man, like I said, especially as a man, you label all these things because as a man, you supposed to deal with every outside in this world, but you don't supposed to deal with a heartbreak. I don't want
Exactly.
people to open up.
And it's because for people who are in tune with their emotions and are willing to say that they have them, it's harder. And then there's so many guys who just quote unquote, just act like they don't have them, but then that comes out in terribleness, whether it's blowing up. We see all these toxic situations on TV. I just saw a couple almost ran each other over and everyone's calling them crazy. But I'm like, we all got some of that in us, okay? If you let
right,
yourself
we all
go
do,
far,
bro.
it can, because love is it's chemical. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Trish, for you, any other? Ooh, almost knocked my light over. Any other topics that I didn't mention, or any other things that I didn't like, themes I didn't mention that you want to make sure we get into over the
Now, I
course?
think like the stuff you mentioned, I definitely think that's it. I also think it would be dope to talk to people who have like heartbreaks from their parents because sometimes,
Yeah, there you go.
like
There
for
you go.
me,
There you go.
that was my first heartbreak.
Yes.
So
We
a
got
lot of
the
Yes.
times,
snaps.
like when you growing up or you going through stuff, you sorting through trauma that your parents gave
Right.
you and stuff, trying to unpack what's yours, what's theirs. So I definitely think it'll be important to help people with
Right.
heartbreak from their parents.
Mm-hmm.
That's
That's deep
oof,
because
that is
most people deal with trauma. Especially I deal with
Hmm.
it. Like my mom. I take my mom for example. My mom used to work nonstop. My mom, provide because my father went to jail when I was young. My mom used to work. She worked at GM, and my mom couldn't make it to the sports events. She couldn't make to everything I used to do. I used to deal with trauma. Like I want a woman into my life, like to celebrate me. But
Hmm.
as I grow older, as me and my mom get a relationship, I understand why my mama grinds so hard because they provide for me.
yeah,
Hmm.
Most people don't understand it. Like, I deal with abandonment issues because it's like
Yeah.
I always needed a woman into my life. I always needed this
Yeah.
because my mom was so separated from me. So that's why I needed a woman into my life. But now as
Yeah.
I grow older, it's like, okay, I see why my mom did it. I see why my mom grinded so hard. So I won't have to, so I can provide for myself when I have kids or when I do this
Hmm.
in my
yeah,
life. So most people need to come out with that. Like a lot of us have abandonment issues, and people don't want to say that they do.
Yeah.
So
and that
yeah,
Yeah.
makes
I deal
them
with that. I
cling to
deal
the
with that.
wrong people.
Yes, I deal with that. I deal with that to this
Yeah.
day.
Yeah, that's deep. And
Yeah, that's
so,
deep, bro.
Trish, I'll throw it back to you. A little like, well, not like super in depth, but like a little bit about your first heartbreak.
Mm,
My first heartbreak came from my dad. Like I
Mm,
used my dad would take me with him when he would cheat on my mom. So I
mm,
remember there were times like one day I remember like it just happened 5 minutes ago. I was in the bathtub trying to figure out how to tell my mom that I saw my dad kiss another woman. So then I grew up to become an adult and I didn't think you could have daddy issues if you know who your dad is, he's around. But when I started unpacking trauma and dealing with me and the reflections and stuff, it's like, damn, like dude low key fucks me up for real. Like a
yeah,
lot of stuff that I was tolerating and I was seeing that I thought was normal, it's like looking back at it is it's hard. Like it's hard to accept accountability for the stuff that I allowed and the stuff that I did because I didn't understand like what a healthy version of a woman is supposed to look like. when
Mm.
dealing with a healthy version of a man. So I used to be toxic. Like I would break into people's email addresses type toxic,
Oh,
like
wow.
done some crazy stuff because that was love. Like that's what love was supposed to look like to me. So yeah,
Yeah.
that was my first heartbreak right there with my dad, definitely.
So you
Okay.
feel like him cheating broke your heart, or just like was it how like cause you did you ever talk to him about that, or where did that like heartbreak come from? Just him doing it, or
So it's a
was it
lot. Like when we get
yeah
into it, like we will, but and I'll see y'all screenshots afterward so it'll make a little more sense. But like for me, it was having to keep my dad's secret from my mom because I didn't know how to tell her. And then it was also my mom died when I was 10. She died in the same exact car accident as her mom. So
Mm.
lived with my dad and he remarried less than a year later to one of the
Okay.
women that it was rumored that he was cheating with in the church. So the way he allowed her to treat me after he married her, like they eat chitlins. I had never eaten chitlins. Nobody on my mama's side eat chitlins. Like, why would you want to? So they ate chitlins, and because I never had it, she forced me to eat it. And I'm like, and my dad let her do stuff like that. So if I would throw like food away in the trash, she would make me get it out and eat it. There was one time like she made everybody line up, and if we did not have the house clean within so many minutes, everybody got a whooping. And this
Mm.
went on for hours. And then when it was finally to her satisfaction, then we left and went to Sam's Club like everything was okay. So my dad allowed her to treat me like that. So that broke my heart
yeah
on top of the stuff
Mm.
I'd already seen. And then my dad has a history of choosing women over his kids. So when he's in a relationship, you don't get the same version of him that you get when he's single. So my dad
mhm,
used to confide in me a lot about his relationship. And the same advice I give everybody else, I give my dad. Like, men deserve to be in healthy relationships too. You deserve to be with somebody who cares about you and represents you positively on social media. But
Right.
when his women would find out the stuff I was telling him, then he would flip the script. And like my mouth is like some days I just really, really try a little harder to be like Jesus. But he used to get me to a point where it was like, okay, so I'm not huge on profanity. I think sometimes it just like you need that. It gives the extra umph for whatever it is you're saying. But my dad would have me to the point where I was cussing dude out literally. And I told him like I called my job one day and told them that my dad was dead so I could get paid to be off for a week. That's how dead to me he was. So, like, now that I'm older, he'll send messages and he'll be like, I love you. I cut it off right there. It ain't nothing for me to say back. All I can say is okay or thank you. So, like, if my sisters are around and he's like, I love you, and I'll be like, okay, thank you. My sisters would be like, she said it too. He knows I didn't say it because I'm not going to say it. I love him because God says I have to. But outside of that, like the love people have for their parents, I don't have that for him.
mhm. And that definitely, I mean, it already makes sense. I mean, cheating is breaking your heart, but like I figured it was, more layers to it. Cause yeah,
Yeah,
if you're doing one thing, you're probably doing other things. If you're
yeah.
cheating, then you're probably not just that relationship probably is toxic. So yeah,
Hmm.
that's definitely sad to hear. I know we got a little bit of Mars, so I can bring it back to you in a second, but just I'll be super quick with mine. It's really just about picking one because it's like early. I was also Mars similar to you. My mom had to be a little busy because my dad wasn't around. So like either she was working or maybe she just wasn't in the best mood because she's working with no help. So I also clung to women or at the time girls very very early. At 6, I had a girlfriend, and then I never didn't have a girlfriend. I will always try to find a girlfriend. I'm holding hands and I'm crying when they go hold someone else's hand. So
Right.
it was always a girl in the picture. So I mean, it's just about picking what age you would classify it to be a real one. But
Right.
I mean, I guess I could say, yeah, I say one of my worst ones was. Oh yeah, no, I got a great one. This is great because we never really were public or anything. besides like prom. But and this is great because I went to two different proms, so no one will. It's like it's not really specific. So one girl I took to prom, it was a girl I never really go after people because I was I was insecure, never really. I would just let people come to me and just kind of take who come to me. But this was like, girl, I'm like, oh, I saw her, I want her. Let me see what I could do. And it was right before prom. I had me a car, man. I'm thinking I'm sweet. I take her to buy her. I was working. I was doing photography in my photography business, and I worked a job, so I had a little bit of money for a high schooler. So I got her. I bought her a dress. Got her some red bottoms. It was gonna be lit. I'm taking her to prom and everything. And then after prom, like we would hang out. Every time I'm like, "What you want to do?" She want to go to the mall, and that's because this is one thing I'm learning. Don't show all your cards. When we was like talking and stuff, I'm like, she asked me what type of guy you are. I'm like, man, I like to provide. I'm what 16, 17, whatever I was. I'm like, I want to provide. If I take a girl out, she can't not get something. So I feel like she was just like, oh, okay. So every time it was time to hang out, we at the mall with it. I'm buying stuff and whatever. Um, and then it got to a point where we were also going like Marno's like fell out, going on dates, ice cream dates. It was like my first honestly relationship where I went out and did stuff like that. So it felt really real. And then after like I think it was like 2 months or 3 months of like talking and dating, like probably maybe it was a little too early, but I was like, I love you. I dropped the L word on her, and then like she didn't say nothing, and then she didn't talk to me for 2 weeks, and then I was like, okay, I guess I shouldn't have said that. And then she finally like she had blocked my number. I found out had blocked me on stuff, and then she hit me on Snapchat like, yeah, I can never love you, never love somebody like you. All these things, just basically saying no, like you thought type of thing. And then I had me a phase of not doing the best stuff for a while after that. But yeah, that kind of it was just one of those things where you ignore all the red flags. So it's like you gotta that's why I'm like we have to take responsibility for our role in our misery. Cause literally all my life I would just try to buy love from people. Like as a kid, I'm giving up my train. So like y'all be cool with me. Like, because I switched school districts a lot. So I never really had a friend group. So I'm always just trying to fit in with people. So I think that was just another scenario of just trying to like buy because just as wrong as she was for accepting it, I was wrong for doing it because that wasn't genuine. It wasn't just like I wanted to spend $300 or whatever every week. I was trying to buy her love, and that's not what you do. So she wrong, but I'm wrong too. Because if I left her alone, and yeah, that's Heartbreak sucks, but yeah, that was a bad one because that was the first time I had somebody like be honest, and I felt like it was probably other girls who felt like that who just goes to me and never said anything, but at least she gave me the decency to say, yeah, no, I just so you know, I would never love you, not you. So yeah, she got a diss track and everything written about her and everything, and I had dropped it. I was so petty, like, cause I'm like, when I
Man,
look back, bro, I also like have recorded the conversation because her and her friends tried to call because her friends thought I was a great guy, so they made her call me, and like she was saying all this sorry stuff. I put it on an interlude of her saying sorry. I was so mad.
nah,
But,
what?
but yeah, that was probably my worst. Not my worst. That was my first
Yeah,
real like gut wrenching heartbreak.
I feel you, bro. They say in life we go through three heartbreaks. The first one when we're young. Of course we're young. Of course we don't know what is going on. And the second one is really like, okay, you in your mid 20s or mid 30s, you be like, okay, this may be the one. Then the last heartbreak that we go through is the where when you focus on yourself and your well being, when you love yourself, that's when God or the universe will send you your person. And that's what I
Mm-hmm.
feel like I'm focused on myself right now. Of course, I got different women trying to throw their stuff at me because I'm focused on myself. But right now, I can't give you, like I tell women right now, I can't give you all of me because I'm dealing with this heartbreak. I'm still dealing with past trauma. I'm still dealing with abandonment issues. So let me get myself together. Then
Yeah,
God willing, that if you hear, you hear. If not, okay,
yeah,
because heartbreak is something that you don't want. I don't want nobody experiencing that, but it's something that
yeah.
you have to do in life.
And yeah, you have to do it the right way, and that's
Yeah,
my biggest thing with this, because people do heartbreak the wrong way. So
yeah,
me and wife, we broke up before, and
yeah.
we like, I love like the time that we spent after we got back together. I love, a lot of it, but we
Hmm.
probably shouldn't have, and that's because we did heartbreak the wrong way.
Right,
I hate alcohol, and I basically became a borderline alcoholic, just drinking, trying to just feel good, just trying to, you know, I wasn't going to family because it's like they all kind of thought we should break up. Something like the energy would just be like,
right.
y'all not really sad. Like y'all gonna
Hmm.
act like y'all sad,
Hmm.
but y'all low key happy. So I'm like, I was just trying to find my own way, and it led us back to each other because I didn't focus on myself at all. Like I did my
Right.
first routine for a couple weeks, but all I could think about was her type of thing. So doing it the right way, I think, prevents you from having to do it again. Because I feel like if you
Hmm.
don't learn from your heartbreaks, you're gonna keep not necessarily keep getting your no, probably keep getting your heart broken. But like even if
Yeah.
you learn, you can have a heartbreak, but it don't
Hmm.
break you down. You don't lose your
Right.
will to like. Because me, I'm
Yeah.
in the position I'm losing the will, not the will to live, but just motivation to work, motivation to do things you would normally do. When a therapist asks, do you not find happiness in things you used to? Yeah, no, I don't. I don't. Like, it's anything I did with her is hard to even do. So you want
Yeah.
to not have to deal with that. I mean, for you guys, what do you feel like is the worst part of heartbreak?
Ooh, the worst part of heartbreak, I say when people always telling you, especially family, that is moving on. I hate that word, moving on, because yes, I can move on, but it's like I want to move on with this person because
Yep.
Say
this
it
person
again.
knows this
Yep.
person right. This person knows
Say it
who I
again.
am.
Yep.
Moving on. I hate when somebody say this move on, especially your homeboys, your
Hmm.
homegirl. Oh, we can go to the club. Just move on. Okay, no, I don't want to move on. I'm gonna say okay
Yep.
at the moment, but my thing is I really don't want to move on because I
At
want to move on
all.
with this right person. Because this generation that we living in is weird. It's really weird
Yeah.
because it's like
Yeah, it is.
when you meet that person, you meet that soulmate or you meet whoever, it's just weird. I don't like moving on. I don't. I
Yeah,
don't. I
I
hate that
agree.
word. I hate that word. Move on.
Yeah,
I hate
especially they hit you at the wrong time, man. Because it's
it.
like, no. But Trish, what's the worst part for you?
Resisting the urge to reach out. So like I still, if you break my heart in 10 million pieces, I still expect to hear your text tone. Like, even if you just texted me telling me, like, I saw this and it made me think of you, or you cussing me out, showing me a picture of you and whoever, like, I still have a hard time resisting the urge to want to hear from them. So then naturally, it makes me want to start social media stalking. Like, I want to see what you got going on your social media, who you messing with. Like, so then, like, to me, if I see that you messing with somebody else, then it's like, dang, he was probably messing with her the whole time he was messing with me. And that's like, when I tell y'all I used to be toxic, like it'd be so hard not to go back to being that person because it's hard to know that I gave you all this of myself and ain't nobody had me like that. And you just gonna move on with somebody else after you break me down and I gotta heal by myself. Like, nah, we ain't doing that.
Mm,
So then, like, I don't, it's just wanting to hear from them and resisting the urge of being like rageful in regards to
yeah,
what they've done to me.
yeah, definitely the resisting the urge to reach out. That's all of that. Yeah, I mean, for me, very, very similar. Being blocked is a new one. I'm
Mm,
blocked on everything, so
Mhm.
that hurts.
Yeah, that's hard.
Because
that
it's
hurts.
like
Yeah,
I
that hurts.
couldn't,
That's hard.
especially someone who blocks you that you wouldn't be able to block. Because it's like for her, I couldn't block her no matter what she did to me. Like I couldn't remove access from seeing her.
Yeah.
And
Right.
one thing that will, and no one, like you said, the new generation is weird. Most people are weird. And it was one thing I remember she said where it was like, I'm like, oh, you want to hurt me? She's like, if I want to hurt you, I would go up a new dude and have a bunch of money and be successful. And I'm like, why would that hurt me? I want you to be successful. I love, like,
Wow.
that made me understand. You don't understand maybe not understand what love is, or maybe that's how terrible I've made you think of me, that you think I don't want you to be successful. And like, just we'll get into it, and and stuff like that. But I've said, like, I think I've told her before, I'm like, I think you might be happy with someone else. Once I start to, I'm a super empath, and once I start to see my personality traits affecting you, like, not this thing I do when when I'm messing up, but something I do that is like me, then I start thinking you might be happy with someone else. She's like, always like, no, no, no. But yeah, like, getting blocked, I think that's the worst. But I think just seeing that, like, when, even if it's not true, seeing that someone's trying to, like, make you think that they don't care, because whether it's true or not, this hurts. Because why do you want me to feel like you don't care? And if you really don't care, it's like, ouch, like, but
yeah, I feel you.
a lot of times with those toxic relationships, one person is done for a long time before it's over, usually. So I kind of feel like that was the case with her, because I can see her probably moving on quick too, and maybe it wouldn't even be cheating. But
the another thing is the no contact. That's what I'm dealing with right now. Like the no contact situation. Like, if you swear that you love me up and down, why we got to go through this no contact thing? I've been with this whole no contact since January, but you swear up and down since we've been talking for this past year that you care about me, you love me, that you do this and that. Okay, we can go no contact for about a week, but why we keep prolonging it? You feel me? Like, reach
You and
out to me.
I had a conversation about that before, because we
We
don't
did.
we don't agree on that
Right, we
one.
don't agree. Well, that's one thing we don't agree about. But
oh,
Yeah.
okay.
my
Well,
thing
let's
is the
hear.
no
Let's
contact.
talk about
I
it.
feel like the no contact is like, reach out to me. Let me know that you still care for me, even though you can block me on social media. But reach out to me. Let me know that you this check up on me. Check on my mental health, because my mental health can be fucked up. Just let
It
I
me know
could
that
feel
you
it.
be.
care.
It
Let
I
me
could
know
feel
that
it.
you
be.
care.
But
Like the no
then
contact.
that
Yeah,
goes like, that's like sending you mixed signals though. Like,
you right.
although
You
if
right.
you break my heart, like, I still expect to hear from you, and I know that's not logical. Like,
Right.
I understand that it's best that I don't hear from you, because you feel like if you loved me and we not gonna be together, I should still hear from you. Like, you should still check up on me. But I feel
Yeah.
like if we not gonna be together, you should leave me alone, because if you're checking up on me, you're sending
Right.
me mixed signals, because you're telling me we can't be together, but now you showing me you care. So now you checking up on me, and I'm going to expect that to continue. So then when it stops, now my
Right.
heart is broken all over
Mm-hmm.
again, because now we have to stop talking cold turkey, when 6 months ago you should have just left me alone, and I would have had this 6 month period to get over it. But now you checking
Right.
on me every once in a while, telling me something made you think of me. And in my mind, it's like, okay, so it might be a chance that we can get back together, just for you to
Right.
pop out with somebody else.
No, but my
Absolutely
thing
not.
is, you just said, made me think about it. Say if you with your new dude, right? Say if you go
Yeah.
to a date that I used to take you to, or say if you go to a place that you and your new dude gonna take you to, that's gonna make you think about me. So why not reach out to me? This the only thing I'm saying is
I don't want to hear
this.
that. Don't tell me you at my place. Oh, don't tell me you at our
No, I'm
place.
just saying, like, say if I take
Oh
you out to
no.
say me and you every Tuesday, we went out to my favorite restaurant, Buffalo Wild Wings. Say every
Mhm.
Tuesday, say you and your new spouse with the Buffalo Wild Wings. That's gonna make you think about me. So why not reach out to me like, hey, how you doing? Just check on my mental health. Hey, how you doing? How you feeling? How's your mom? How's your grandma? Such and such. Why should we go cold turkey for no reason? This
But
because the
see,
breakup. This
That makes
because we got
sense.
to break this because we got a breakup doesn't mean we got to go cold turkey. My thing is a text here and there, like, hey, how you doing? I understand the mixed feelings, but if you stop it right then and there, it won't be no mixed feelings. Just reach out to me like, hey, how you doing? How's your mom? How's your grandma? How's your mental health? Hey,
That
so
takes a lot of
I want
maturity,
I it do take a lot of maturity.
because I can't do
Hey,
that. I'm not
I can do
reaching
it.
out.
I can do it. I can reach out, but I'm gonna wait until it's the right time to reach out. I can reach out
see,
right now to my ex and be like, "Hey, I went to a Sigmia the other day to get some cookies." That's what me and her went to. I could have said like, "Hey, I want to get some warm cookies. I thought about you," but no, I want you to reach out first, because if you really miss me, if you really love me, you will reach out to me, because I pour all my art
nah.
onto you. Yes, it has to be like that.
No,
It
because
has to
okay,
be like that.
okay. So like, I'm reaching out to you after we've already decided we're not going to be together, that's
Right.
low key like touching a wound with dirty hands. Like,
You're right.
why can't I just leave it alone to let it heal? Because my thing is, if you and I have been together, let's say we've been together for about a year or whatever, and we break up, if I'm reaching out to you to find out how you doing, how your mama doing, how the dog doing, how the kids doing, how's your mental
Right.
going, that's going to make you think that there's a possibility that I care about you the way I used to. So
Right.
if I genuinely care for you and I understand the situation is done,
Mhm.
I'm going to
Let
dead
me
it and let you move
let me
on because
let me ask you
go
this,
ahead.
Steve. Let me
Go
ask you
ahead.
this, Steve. 2024, correct?
Yeah.
If you think about it, everybody that's in a relationship now, they broke up in the past. Because my think about it, dating, like I said earlier, dating in this generation is weird. So why not go back to somebody that you already established with?
So
We
now
can
you
break
saying
up.
she just need to come back. That's what bro said. Bro said
See
she just
that
need to
you
come
I'm
see
just
back.
my
saying.
point,
I'm just
and
saying.
this is
I'm just
why
saying.
you don't reach out. Like, no, you
What
don't
you
reach
mean? I'm
out
just
Bro,
saying.
because
I'm
because
just
then
saying.
when
that
you
opens
when
You
she
the
reach out,
door.
this is what you said. When she reach out, this you this is you. So if she talking to you, you think like this. She know you think like this. That's probably why she not reaching out because she
You're
know
right.
what
I'm
you
just saying.
know.
I don't mind. Me at my state. I need to get myself together. I need to get my mental together. I need to get my everything I need together. If my ex was to reach out to me to today, as of right now, no, I will not get back with her. But if she reached
But
out to me like a
what if
year,
she asked you to give back to her? What if she was like,
no,
"Hey," she say
no.
everything that is what you want to hear, and she say, "Hey, you know all that stuff. You right. You actually right."
Mm-hmm,
She validate all of it, and don't just answer like I'm you talking to me. Answer like
mm-hmm.
she's next to you. She's looking good, and she's like, "I'm ready to do this again." You gonna say no? And she say everything, and then let's say, and let me even make it more realistic, and let me make it
Okay,
more good for you. She say
okay.
everything you want to hear, and then you be like, "No, I don't believe you." And then because usually when you hit a girl with the "No, I don't believe you," they like,
Let me
"I
show
already
you.
didn't do, I already didn't did more than I should have even said." Let me, okay, you don't believe me, fine, but no, you say that I don't believe you, and she's still like, "No, like no, no, I'm about it, like whatever you say goes," type of thing. Like she ready. You gonna say
To be
no?
honest, the way me and my ex broke up, I would say no because
Mm.
I pour all my heart into my ex. Yes, yes, yes. In the beginning, we gonna get to that. In the when we talk further. Yes, I did lie. Yes, I did lie to her in the beginning in the whole situation. But right now, I would say no. I would like to focus on myself more. I like loving myself now.
Mm.
I went out the other day. I spent $13 on myself instead of $40. I love myself. I know my work. I know what God put into me. I know the family that I have behind me and supporting me. I know my wealth. She don't understand that. So she was asking me, "Hey Jamar, can we get back together?" I understand the grass is not always green on the other side, sweetie. It's not. So if you were to come back to me a month, 2 months, 3 months, a year, I would say no. No matter what we
Mm.
had going on, I would say no because I know my worth. I'm gonna make you feel this pain because of all the pain I've been through. You wasn't calling me when
No,
I was
no.
crying.
Well, why
You
you gonna
wasn't
make her
calling
feel the
me when I was
pain?
crying.
So
You
let
wasn't
me
calling me
ask
when
you
I was
this.
crying. What up?
So you in a relationship
Mm-hmm.
and your girl's phone is going off from an ex that she no longer deals with, and all
Mm-hmm.
he want to know is how she doing, how her mama doing. And then it's another ex who wants to know. So by the time, let's say y'all spending the day together, you hear her phone blowing up. She got 12, 13 exes just thinking about her from the stuff that they've been doing. Is that acceptable?
It's not acceptable. Why you got so many exes calling you?
See? No, 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 no.
It's not
So by
Because
your
acceptable.
logic,
you
by
said if
your
someone really
logic,
loved you, they not gonna
uh,
stop reaching out. If
But
they really loved
we
you.
all between Jace and Trish, we all got that one ex that we truly can't get rid of. I don't care if it's from middle school,
yeah,
elementary, high school. We all got that one ex in the back of our mind that we can't get rid
I
of.
never had one until her.
If they was to call our phone right now or reach out to social media, we would drop everything. I don't care. We out to dinner with our mama. We'll
I
drop
did.
everything for that one
I
ex.
did. I
We
did.
all got that one ex. Yes, we do.
I ain't gonna lie, I did have, I don't have that no more, but I did. And I had,
Yeah.
for me, it was my kid's dad. Like the relationship I'm in now, he still cannot wrap his mind around how I give valid relationship advice to all these people And like eventually we'll go over the stuff my ex did. Um, y'all know a little bit of it. Like he still cannot wrap his mind around how all that stuff he's done to me, I would still go back to him like time after time. I would cry it out. I was cool because I knew what I was going to expect from him. I loved him differently than I did anybody else. But when I finally got tired, somebody used to say when your tired gets tired, that's when you'll leave them alone. So when my tired finally got tired and I left him alone, my perspective about him changed. So I already knew he was a liar. I already knew he was a cheater. I already knew he was a manipulator. So once I decided, like, I don't want to cry about this same stuff anymore. So I cried it out. I healed. It took me a minute to get to a point of being like, yeah, this ain't gonna work for me anymore. Well, now, like, sent me a text recently, like within the last few weeks, talking about when your relationship doesn't work out, you can still come home. And I read that text like in the past, it would have been like, bet I got a backup plan if this doesn't work out, or it would have been like, yeah, okay, so he still does want to be with me, like he still be thinking about me, so we just need to take this time apart. But now it's like, can we say nigga on this podcast?
Oh yeah, for sure.
Now it's like, nigga, what? Like, why would you say that to me? Absolutely not. So yeah, I do believe everybody at least has that ex one time. But I feel like when you really, really heal from that person and the person you were with them, you no longer have that ex that you'll always go back to.
Yeah, I never had one. Like, you know, that I remember my wife thinking that certain people just because, people sometimes think you do, but yeah, I never really. Everyone I ever dated, it always ends explosively. I'm not good at amicably just ending a friendship or a relationship. It's like if you choose to remove me from your life, even if it's for great reason, I will be very upset and I
Yeah.
will lose my shit. So I never had anyone where I don't even know. Maybe they would take me back, but I'm like, I never thought I even maybe had access. So maybe I did, and I didn't know, but I never really. Now it's like, obviously she would be that. So yeah, but no, that's rough
Yeah.
when you do got that person. But yeah, man, I feel it for sure. But I try to learn to whatever I expect, I gotta be okay with, and vice versa, type of thing. Just because I always have to ask myself, okay, I'm asking her for this thing. Could I handle this thing? So it was times where I did something to her. She saw me text somebody talking about OnlyFans, all this craziness, and then I'm like, if you did that, I will leave you. So I mean, when you do stupid stuff like that, it's like, I didn't even remember who the person was. It was such a like, it was just an impulsive thing. But when you brought it to me, I'm like, I wouldn't, but that was something, she took me back, she was fine, got over, I worked on myself and tried to understand why it happened. But, you got to ask yourself a lot of times when a breakup happens, like, if all roles were reversed, would you, be okay, or would you be able to deal with it? Because, I put her through stuff that I would not want to be put through. That's why I'm like, I'm learning to not be as bitter, or not even to say I'm bitter, but just learning to just, yeah, I mean, for lack of a better word, be bitter for some breakups and look back at my role. Even what the girl told me, I can never love you. I'm like, I dropped the L word on you after a couple months of dating, and we weren't even like boyfriend and girlfriend yet, like, whatever. I probably scared the girl or whatever. So, trying to like that, I think that's gonna be a big theme, and that's probably, I'm gonna be the person everyone hates on the podcast, and I feel like you're gonna be validating everybody, and then Trish gonna be the one to mesh it all together. But like, I'm very like since getting into coaching, I'm so devil's advocate, and I'm so, because if you play devil's advocate, like I found like the most successful people play devil's advocate in every situation, because then it's just always room for growth. It's like, okay,
Mm-hmm.
let's, because some people say I did everything I could, and I'm like, that's always a lie. You never, if you just broke up, you did not do everything you could. At this point blank, whether that extra thing you could have been is leaving earlier, even if that's what you could have done, but there's always something that you could have done when something goes wrong. That's how I look at it. And when people start looking at it like that, you have, I feel like, more control of the future. When people try to say there's something I could have done, now you're just basically saying your relationships aren't up to you, so the next time it's liable to just happen again. But I'm a firm believer there's so many things that are preventable. Like even with you and old girl, not to say it was just doomed to fail, but when things start in a weird way, a lot of times the road will be weird. Like me and my wife, like it's every I don't know what to even call it at this point. We'll wait till I guess to things or whatever they're gonna be. But we got together. She moved in my house like a month or two. No, not even two for sure. Like a month or less after I broke up with the previous girl, which was a relationship that I hadn't even. I didn't like. So just run down of that relationship real quick, just because it was all over TikTok. It was such a big thing. This girl cheated on me, and then Lada said she got RAPED'd, and then I found out it was premeditated. Like a year after I was trying to have her back and everything. I'm going through her phone. I'm seeing that the guy who did it, she was sending him news before the party, and she was telling me she had never seen the guy. This guy just grabbed her and just had his way, and I'm like, oh. So once I found that out, I was just trying to figure out how to get rid of her. I'm such a people pleaser, but I literally had to buy this girl a car to justify kicking her out because she told me that her stepdad was, doing bad stuff to her, and I don't even know what was true at this point. But I'm like, I don't want to send you back there, so I'm like, here's a car, but you gotta go. You're not paying any bills either, so it's like, you can't, you gotta go. And like, my wife's just she came in and like COVID was happening, so it was like it was perfect. We just spent every day together. But when I look at how it started, it when you start things and this is weird. Whenever you start things in a certain way, it was toxic from the jump. It was just so much emotion. And she was also in a relationship that she was leaving. So like, I saw the way her dude was talking to her, and that attracted me, and that's a bad thing to say, but it attracted me to her because it told me I could get her because he was talking to her in a way I would never talk to her, or a way I would thought I would, a way I thought I would never speak to her. But that told me, okay, well, I can treat her better than that, and she's gorgeous, so But you never want to go after somebody because they're in a bad situation. Because if someone is
Right.
letting something bad happen to them, just like
Right.
her, well, that's a good thing that she didn't know, because if it probably would have been even worse if she knew about the marriage. It was still willing to go forward with it. That's probably bigger red flag in itself. But same thing. I think yes, the way you start is usually how you finish a relationship. So,
Jace, it sounds like you want to be the savior in
yeah,
situations that you be
that was
in.
my dad. Like I saw her and I saw she was taking the bus because
Yeah.
the girl I was with was a bum. I was with a bum who I got a better job at Huntington. We was both working at Panera. I got a job at Huntington, and then she's like, "Okay, I'm gonna quit my job now." And I'm like, "Do you understand that just negates what we just raised? Now we're making like." Yeah, this girl, she dropped out of college, and I wasn't for college. Like, I'm not pro college, but I'm like, you don't do nothing, so you kind of gotta go or something. But yeah, it just became a bad. But I saw her, I'm like, she taking the bus from like afar to Auburn, out in Auburn Hills, bro. She was taking the bus from, I think it was like Highland Park to Auburn Hills to come sell
Oh, that's
insurance. What I
far.
was doing. Yeah, and I'm like,
I know
I
about
saw her
that.
ambition, and I'm like, I thought she was, I mean, but yeah, I wanted to upgrade. Like I always want to just take somebody. That's why I got into coaching, because I'm like, I just like turning people up, like making helping somebody go from point A to point B. And it's like, the whole relationship, I just all everything, all my money, all my energy, all my time went to her, to a point where now that it's over or whatever it is, it's like my whole motivation was her. Before her, I didn't really have motivation to going out and get big bucks. I just was like, I'm just gonna do the normal thing. I go to work, come home, play the game, do it again. Like, not to say that's bad, but just that's all I was content with. And I'm like, she has me wanting to go out and become a freaking billionaire, because I'm like, you want to go on these trips, you want to do these things that are on social media, you want these flower rooms that are covered with. I'm like, okay, that takes a lot more money. So I'm like, now it's like the struggle is finding motivation when you don't have anyone to save. And all full circle is because of a lack of love for myself. Because I'm like, I would always tell her, I don't care what happens to me. That's a terrible thing to say. But I'm like, I don't care
Mhm.
what happens to me. I just want you to be good. She's like, babe, what about this? I'm like, I don't care what
Mhm.
happens to me. I need you to be good. So now that it's no you, it's like I need to try to figure out how to care what happens to me, because I'm like, all my life I just been trying to make others, give others the love I want, because I'm like, I
Mm-hmm.
literal person autism. When I heard treat people the way you want to be treated, I'm like, bet, that's easy. But I'm like, they
Mm-hmm.
didn't tell you that don't everybody don't got autism. Everybody don't think so
Yeah.
literal.
Yeah.
So not everybody thinks, oh, I have to reciprocate, because it's like not lack of reciprocation is that's I think that's one of the worst. That's a hard pain, because when you do something and it means love, if someone else doesn't do it, you think they don't love you, regardless of if they're just wired different. So yeah, saving people, trying to make people feel good, too much,
Right.
doing too
Yeah,
much.
yeah. Even if you try to say, because it says in the Bible, even if you try to save people, people don't want to reciprocate that. They, like I
Yeah,
said,
but they
everything is
shouldn't.
lazy.
They
They
shouldn't.
should, they should, because
Not trying to
everybody
save
lazy.
them.
Yeah,
Like I found out when like when you don't love yourself, you have unrealistic expectations for people, and you also give an unrealistic amounts of love, and you
right,
everything you're doing is unhealthy. So now I
right.
look back at, like, even just it's just funny. My dad always says, like, he wished my mom could see who he is now because he's changed all this, and it's like, I don't want to say, but I'm like, I wish she could even see, like, weeks later or months later how I think now, because it's just like
Mhm.
I was expecting her to do things that I shouldn't even be doing. I should
Right.
not be spending all of my money, thousands of dollars on you every
Right.
single week. And I'm like, I did all this and did all this. And it's when someone says, I didn't even ask you to do that, then that hurts. But you didn't,
It does.
you didn't
It does
ask me to
hurt.
do that.
This.
But that's my biggest lesson I'm learning. Like, when you place these, when you have this, because I call it movie love, and
Yeah.
I thought that she also had it too, because she liked some of these same movies with these dramatic love stories. But I'm a literal person, so it's like I love, like, the movies like Life or Death, like Romeo and Juliet.
Mm-hmm.
Like, this is like, it's just me and you kiss in the rain type stuff. But like when you have those unrealistic things, that's usually unhealthy. And usually once you heal, it'll be a realistic expectation you have for her. Because now, I'm hoping I get to a point where my girl can go on vacation and it's okay. But like we're at a point where some trust was lost and things like that. But even when I completely trust her, she was also bisexual. So that's just it's hard to deal
Oh,
with.
damn.
But going out of town, going on the girl trips and stuff, I'm like, she was also a
Mhm.
little friendly. So I'm like, guy gonna buy you a drink, and then what's the deal? So, you know, I just that's
Yeah.
me. I can hear like not necessarily pain, but I can just hear what you're going through, man. And it's like, man, it's once we do get to that 100% heal point, you
Mhm.
know, it can
I don't.
hopefully have a healthier bond.
I don't
I
think
always
we
have a healthy
truly.
bond.
I don't think we truly heal. I don't think we
Yeah,
truly
true
heal.
that.
I don't think
Not
nobody. I don't think
100%.
nobody. We not 100%. I don't think nobody truly healed from a heartbreak. Yeah, you can move on from this person and that person, but I don't think you really truly heal.
I
Because in
think
the
you do if
Bible,
you get closure.
if you get closure, if
Because
only time you get
grief,
closure is
you
from that
don't
Closure
heal.
is
person.
a myth. Closure is
Yeah,
a myth. Closure is a
Me,
myth.
I mean, it depends on. I guess well, because it's like I could, because, well, I don't know if it's because my brain is just weird or I'm just weird, but it's like I'm a logical person. I just like to know the facts, and I just want, because even with my wife, like if it gets to a point where we have to never see each other again, that's not,
hmm
honestly not what hurts me. That thought isn't what hurts me more. It's just the thought of that all being a lie. Like, tell me what it is and tell me what I think. What I think is, A, B, and C. I was to this, I was to that. And if you can tell me, this is over because, you did this, you did that, I still love you, that's it. We can go live separate lives if it can't work. Like, if it was toxic, we were unhappy for a while. But I think the reason why in toxic relationships it's so hard to break apart, because it's like, for when we're scared of being apart from each other, and now it's partly ego. I don't want you to. Sometimes people always say guys be jealous of the women's success, and it's like, we're not jealous. It's just our sole purpose is to provide. So when you start doing all these things, it's like, where do I fit? But yeah, I think for me, if I can just hear why we're broken up without, and it makes sense, I'm good, because I mean I have closure
Let
from all the relationships I
let me
had.
let me ask you this, Jay. If she tell you why y'all broken up or whatever the situation with is, would you truly move on from it, or would you keep asking questions?
I mean, no, like, if someone, because what my problem, and I think my problem was I couldn't, if you don't love yourself, it's hard for you to walk away from stuff and hard away from people. And I wanted her to tell me she didn't want me. But I'm like, once you tell me you don't want me, I'm now at a point where I'm no longer trying to like, I don't want to get too deep into it. If you don't want me, I don't want to make you want me, but I do want to know you wanted me at one point. So what made you stop wanting me? So I can self-correct, because maybe it might be something I don't want to change. Maybe it'd be like, oh, you're autistic. Well, I'm stuck with that. Okay, cool. That I have extreme closure. If you tell me, we're done because I'm ADHD or autistic, okay, that's something I can't get rid of. I can cool the symptoms out, do things, but I can't get rid of it. So that's cool. But if but here's where I'll push. If you tell me I don't love you. I stopped liking you because you stopped loving me. Oh, red flag. I didn't stop loving you. So now we have to figure out this miscommunication. And that's why it's sometimes so hard for me to, walk away from people, because I will live and die by what you say. So now if you tell me, like girls will lie about the reason. So now I'm learning this. So I'm like, you telling me it's because of this, but it's not because of that. But now I'm arguing this whole time it's something else. So that's where I get stuck, because I'm trying to get you to tell me the truth, and people don't want to say that. The one girl who said the truth, she got a diss track, but she told me the truth, right? And I still got upset. So, I'm finding that it's hard. And I'm not saying I would just handle it the best, but I mean, where I'm at now, I'm at a point where if you start loving me, you know, and then you stop liking me, or maybe one day you just figure out you don't like me anymore. I really just want to know why. And I really just want to make sure you didn't stop because you had a misunderstanding about something I did. Whether, let's say I started sleeping on the other side of the bed, you think it's because of this, really I'm just cold and that's how warmer, or something like that. I want to make sure that I'm not losing you because of something I can control. But if it's something I can't, or if it's something that's just me, you don't like the fact to make music, not gonna stop. Thank you, shake hands. That's cool, because I'm not giving up that. But if I'm losing you for something I'm willing to give up, we gonna talk about this, type of thing.
I have a few things. Like one thing you mentioned, like loving somebody the way that you think they need to be loved. I think a lot of people do that. Like, because I love you, this is what love looks like to me, to you.
Mm,
Like, I don't think we love people the same way. I think every relationship you love people differently. There are some things that are just you, like at the core, so you do those things. But I think a lot of relationships don't last, or they aren't as strong as they could be, because I'm loving you the way I want to love you, the way I think love is supposed to look on you, as opposed to the way you need to be loved. Because if your love language is words of affirmation, and I'm bringing you home sneakers and your favorite snacks and stuff all the time, yeah, you appreciate it, but it doesn't show I love you. Like if I say, killing that sweater today. Like, you look so good. I love the way you made the bed for me this morning. Like, thank you. Oh, baby, you got a haircut. Come on, let's go to the bedroom. Like, speaking
yeah,
into you, loving you the way you need to be loved. And I think a lot of people need to understand that, because they just feel like, I love you, so this is how I'm going to show you I love you. But I can
take it or
receive the
leave
love
it.
that you're giving me, but I still need you to love me this way, or your love is never going to be enough for me. And I think that's where the
Yeah,
disconnect comes from, is
that was us.
that's when you get to a point when you're like, why is what I do never enough for you? And it's because
Yeah.
you're not loving them the way they need to be loved. And a lot of people don't even know how to articulate that. Like,
You're
Yeah.
they're
right.
like, okay, yeah, you love me, but
And the crazy thing, I would say that because like I'm so self-aware, I'm so logical. I study like when a lot of people have a problem, they just I try to figure out what's going on, and I realize like, okay, you think these things A, B, and C means you love me. I'm like, that's your. I'm not gonna take that away from you, but I'm like, if you understand at day one that I'm a little insecure, so we already got that out the way. You can't, just say I'm not anymore. You understand that. And then you see that I have different love languages. you have to like, because respect, like I learned my biggest love language was respect, and I didn't even know what respect was, but like, you know, just telling like men, we want to be challenged. You have to be challenged, but there's a time and a place. No man wants to be challenged when they're asking you, when they're asking you to do something. So if a guy say, "Hey, I don't like that you did that out in public earlier," or something like that, getting pushed back, then it really feels like you don't love me, and it feels like girls let us say, "I'm yours," especially when you're in the bedroom, "I'm yours, I'm yours." But if I can't tell you not to do this, you're not mine. It feel like
Mm-hmm.
you your own person type of thing. So yeah, just being able to, I think love languages are so important, and people think, when a relationship becomes toxic, I feel like it's possible for it to leave that state. But once it becomes toxic, and once it becomes, fight or flight a lot, people are, there's eggshells and stuff. You have to become even more mindful of things like that, especially once they're in a place of, once a relationship is in a place where it's shaky, it could fall apart. And a lot of people, once relationships usually just get worse and worse and worse because people are so in there. I shouldn't, like, some people even know what their partners need but won't do it because they don't want to give them that satisfaction. And that's where I feel like that's where our generation is, like all these posts where the posts are just be nice to guys, all the women in the comments are just like, no, fuck that, it's like,
Mm-hmm.
dang, like the post just
Yeah.
said, bro, like a dude was just getting like his lady was just feeding him food. She thought y'all want to be treated like toddlers. Like,
Yeah.
so what we
Yeah.
do for
Yeah.
y'all? What do we
Yeah.
do?
Yeah.
What is the princess experience? What is that about? You feel me?
You
Man.
know what? You know what I say? I heard somebody say it's like a 40, it's like a 50-50. Like us men, we can do 50. The girls got 50 things that they want us to do, right? We can get 10 out of them 50 wrong, and we still can't do right. Us men, we only want four things from a woman. We only want four things from women:
Man,
loyalty,
simple.
the simple things, bro. But my thing is, we give women 10 things and them things wrong, they gonna try to find it from another man. But my thing is, if I get 10 of them things
Because
wrong,
they can.
right? Because they can. But my thing, I just want four things. It's so hard. It's unbalanced. In my
I
point, it's
feel you.
unbalanced, bro. It's unbalanced, bro.
So I think
Yeah,
with
I feel
that,
you on
like,
the simpleness.
men have to take accountability for that, because if I want 50 things and you give me 40, and I'm always nagging and complaining about the 10 you can't give me, and I'm going to go mess with somebody else who gives me those 10 but they lack that 40, men need to stop letting those women come back. Men need to hold those women accountable. If she leaves you to be with somebody who has those 10 things, the grass may be greener on the other side, but what if it's always raining over there? It doesn't mean that there aren't snakes in the yard. So if you are going to the greener grass, you got to. That's the problem with a lot of women is we feel like, all right, like he gonna let me come back, or he probably ain't gonna know I cheated on him, or I can do all these things and he ain't gonna go nowhere because I give good head or sex is good or whatever. If men made women stand on their decisions, it wouldn't be so many of these women who think that they can treat y'all any kind of way, because the world is going to tell women, if you mess up one time, it only takes you one time for me to know that I need to leave you alone. So if you're demanding these things and you leave and you messing with somebody else, you cheat with somebody else, okay. Like, I only need to know that you can do it. You just need to do it one time for me to know you're capable of doing it. And so as a woman, the world would be like, girl, he cheated. It's time for you to go. He didn't love you or he wouldn't have cheated. He didn't respect you or he wouldn't have cheated. But with men, I can cheat on you 12 times and I expect you to stay with me because you're a man. No. Just like the world tells women to leave, men need to leave those kind of women alone too. Otherwise, you'll never make women take accountability because they don't have to. And I think that's a huge, huge issue with men and love. But that
Yes.
also goes into like, y'all have to be, y'all are expected to have like this super, super thick skin. You can't just be human. You got to be superhuman. So because I got to be superhuman, that means I got to take the treatment that you give me. Otherwise, I'm a simp for leaving you alone because I have standards and boundaries. That's
Yeah.
wild.
and it is us, it is the women, the men, like, I mean, all the rappers and just the men, they give women, because it seems like to me a lot of the women who feed off of, simps, they ideally want those, because usually when a woman cheats on you, she's not cheating on a guy who wants a relationship. The guy who gets the girl who's cheating is the guy who's just, he had a lot of money and he's living a bachelor life and he don't want to settle down with nobody. And those guys honestly do mess it up for a lot of people, because they, you know a lot of times they be big up in them, like, yeah, do your thing, like, you can come to me whenever, we could do whatever. And these guys are giving these women what feels like love to them. They get all these bags and stuff for just, whatever. And the simps, most, for some reason, it's like no rich simps. Like when dudes get rich, it's either they just stop being it, or you don't really hear from them. I mean, we got Russell Wilson, we got a few of them, but it's like a lot of times those girls are leaving either for money or just leaving for somebody who is emotionally unavailable, and they don't have to do anything for it. All they have to do is have sex with them, and that's the only thing they need. But like when it comes to, I think that's why it can be so hard for guys like us who require or want more than just sex, because so many women have been conditioned by so many guys out here that all you need to do is have sex with me, and that's it. There's so many relationships. Like, I mean, all these rappers, the relationships that they have with girls, it is just based on sex and money, and we just do that. But for us, like, the city girl culture nowadays is telling every girl to just get a bag, use what you can, move. So it's on us, like, as Sims, to, or not, let me not own that, but us as guys who love women to, take accountability and, be responsible and not let people run us over. But it's also just, we won't be able to stop that cycle of things that are happening with girls who get to go and get everything they want without having to do anything. Because literally everything girls want, I mean, they literally can just, you know, get it bits and pieces from different guys, just because there are so many. I mean, it's a bigger issue. There's nothing that can be fixed overnight. But I mean, there's so many guys who will let them, type of thing.
Yeah, man.
I
And that's
also
crazy,
disagree.
bro. It's crazy, bro. Because these women, that's what social media fucked up a lot of things with relationships. Because these women, or I even see even these men, they see this relationship on social media and they so fixated about it. Like, oh, I'm supposed to provide for my woman like this way, or he supposed to provide for me for this way. But social media then twist everything around.
Yeah, yeah, and
Yeah.
I mean, we definitely gonna, like, over these. I mean, I can't wait to get so deep, like, just because now I see that even from our conversation today, I know it's gonna
Mm.
be a lot of dialogue. And with I know you mentioned you got a few people who, trying to come tell their stories. So we going, I mean, as of
I got a
tonight,
lot. Yeah,
I'm gonna get our YouTube, I'm gonna get our Discord together. So I mean, this is gonna start that Discord, and in the Discord, that's gonna be like our main, like almost like our base camp, where everyone will be, we're gonna be talking daily. People who are going through heartbreaks will have,
mm.
we can jump on calls with people. We can do whatever. Everybody who joins, they can probably say, hey, here's who I am, here's what I've been through, and we just all kind of validate each other, type of thing.
Right.
Because a lot of people dealing with heartbreak are isolated, just because it just makes sense. So many people ask you, why you want to be alone? It's like, when you get through a heartbreak, everyone's saying the wrong stuff. Ain't nobody saying the right
Yeah.
stuff. All you want
Right.
to hear is, yes, bro, you should go back with her. That's all you want to hear. And if no one's
Right.
saying that, you don't want to be, because, and no one will tell you that. Like, no one who loves you. If someone hurts you, everyone, no matter if you deserved it or not, everyone around you is going to tell you, leave them alone. So that's what they should do. But I'm excited for the Discord, man. So I'll be sending y'all the Discord, and I mean, we'll have it on Instagram. We gotta get it popping, because in the Discord we'll have people who want to come on the show. So if anyone wants to be on the show, they'll need to be in the Discord. For our topics, we'll be picking up topics from people that drop it in the Discord for the day. So whether it's,
Right.
trying to deal with heartbreak while also grieving, that is
Mm.
very, very difficult, or trying to deal with a heartbreak when it's, the father or your kids, something like that. Because all heartbreaks are different, and it's breaking your heart for different reasons, because now your heart's
Right.
breaking for your kids too, and like, you're trying to hold it together, you're trying to show them. So we definitely gonna get into it. But everyone, just just some last thoughts for the day. I didn't want to. I know we went a little over, but I mean we was vibing. But
Yeah,
last
that's a
thoughts.
good vibe.
I'll start with Marv. Last thoughts for the day.
My last thoughts of the day is, I just want people to like. All I can say is I just want people to, especially men, especially I'm reaching out to my men out there. Just open up because I want y'all to experience. It's okay to be heartbreaking. It's okay to open up. It's okay to express your feelings. You're not a simp or you're not a whatever people label you as. Just open up. Just be honest. My thing is, somebody told me to live in your truth, live into your honesty. Stop lying about what's really going on. Just open up. There's a lot of people out here in the world that really want to talk to somebody, but they can't open up because I can run to my homeboys right now, or they can say, "Hey, Mark, let's hit the bar. Let's go find another woman." In my brain, that's okay, but deep down in my heart, that's not okay. I just want
Yeah,
men, especially men, to open up. That's all I gotta say. Just open up or be honest. Just be honest.
open up and be honest. Open up and be honest. Trish, for you,
Mm.
last thoughts for the day.
My last thought for the day is I disagree when y'all said you never truly heal because I believe that you do eventually heal, but there will always be a scar where the wound was. That's my
Like
last
that.
thought.
And to
Okay.
piggyback off of that, yeah, you gotta, and that's why I feel like cold turkey sucks, but
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
feel like you never heal unless it's cold turkey, because
You're
then
right.
once you do have the scar, you can hit me up, but while you can take me out of character, that scar is closed. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
that scar
Right.
is still
Right.
open,
Yep, that
But
wound's still
Right.
open.
but if you can, because like just this is what I'm dealing with right now. Like every day it's like something different to like just maybe it's not on purpose, maybe I'm just overthinking it, but remove yourself as a collaborator on a post here and there. Remove the Netflix here and there. So as long as that hurts, that scar is open. I know that
Yep.
type of thing. But for me, well, my last thoughts is like, since we have so much self-help and we have so many things out here that tell you to be easy on yourself, I'm the person who's like, be hard on yourself, because no one's telling anyone to be hard on themselves. So like that's kind of, I feel like that'd be my role, and that's the message I want from people, is to, when you're trying to heal, like challenge yourself. Like everyone is like, when they're healing journey, when you ever talk to someone on their healing journey, they don't feel like that they're someone hurt them, and right now they're recovering because someone else did bad stuff. But a lot of times we are healing because we also ignored red flags. We triggered someone else, and brought them out of character and made them treat us bad, whatever the case may be. So yeah, that's my, be hard on yourself, when it's one warranted. Surround yourself with love, and heartbreak sucks,
That's
and
all
don't
you
let
can
nobody
do,
tell
man.
you it don't.
It
You feel
don't.
me?
You gotta surround yourself with love. I feel like the hard way. Like I can go to my homeboys. Hey, my homeboys, they want to go out tonight. What is me going out tonight? Surrounding myself with love. Like I'm surrounded with my family right now. My family is
Yeah,
dealing with this. Yeah, my
yeah,
homeboys got different attachment, but my family that's always going to be here is surrounding me with love and comfort. That's how I'm dealing with this. Like, if you would have talked to me a couple months from now, I've been crying all over this media right now, because the way I was feeling right now, I can actually talk and feel about it because it's like I know my self worth, I know my love, I know what I can bring
yeah.
out to that. I gotta love the whole thing. The number one thing I want people to learn is love yourself first. Always love yourself, no matter what. Love yourself first. I don't care what nobody tells. If you don't love yourself, you can't love nobody else. That's all I gotta say.
Yeah. That's a bar. We'll leave it there, because yeah, that was probably the reason most of my stuff has
Look,
ended, because I didn't love
look,
myself. So we'll end it
right.
there. I appreciate y'all. I feel like it's gonna be a great, fun journey. I feel like we all bring a
Yeah.
different feel, vibe, contrast. We're all different walks in our life. So I'm definitely excited to just get this going, and we'll be hopefully able to shoot at least once a week. If
Hmm.
y'all shoot sometimes without me, y'all can get more in, but I know I can get at least once a week. But
Yeah, I can too.
this has been our intro, so I won't necessarily call this an episode, but this has definitely been our intro, almost like a pilot, if you will.
Hmm.
But yeah, I'm gonna chop this up. We're gonna start posting, and then
There
it
we
is what
go.
it is. It is what
I'm
it
ready,
is.
man. I'm ready. I'm
Yeah,
ready. I got people. I got people ready to get on this, man. Let's chop this up. Let's Hey, peace and
Yeah.
blessings. I'm glad God brought us all each other to each other's life, man. Peace and blessings to y'all. Just
Definitely.
reach out, whatever's going on, man. I love y'all from the bottom of my heart. I be praying for y'all every day. What's ever going on, don't be afraid to reach out. I love y'all.
Love y'all too,
Love you
man.
too, bro.
Let's see y'all. We'll see. We'll be talking over the next couple of days. Y'all have a beautiful Easter.
Yeah.
Y'all be safe, and yeah, we'll be in touch.
All right. See y'all soon.
All right, y'all.
Yeah.